Hi, this is Matthew Robert Payne. How are you today? Have you ever wanted to sit down face to face with Jesus and have a coffee, share a coffee with him and a conversation with him? Would you ever like to go out to a cafe and have a meal with Jesus, sit down face to face with him? Jesus said, the people who feed the homeless, who feed the hungry, who give drinks to the thirsty. He said, whatever you do to the least of these, my brethren, you do unto me. I've been fortunate enough to meet Jesus in the flesh 11 times. 10 of those times, I met him as a homeless person. He was disguised as a homeless person. Um, 6 of the times I met Jesus, he was in the body of a person I knew. So I had relationships with homeless people, and I'd buy them a pizza, I'd buy them a coffee, buy them a drink. And in the midst of our conversation, they went into a trance and Jesus started speaking through them. So I was having a coffee or sharing a meal with Jesus, and they'd speak for 10 or 15 minutes or 20 minutes, and I'd be having a two-way conversation with Jesus. Do you know that that's possible? You know, the scripture in the Bible that says, don't be afraid of entertaining strangers unaware, because sometimes you'd be entertaining angels. Do you know that it's possible to sit down and have a face-to-face meal or face-to-face coffee with Jesus Christ himself? The other 5 times out of 11 times, I met Jesus as a homeless person, and he was disguised in the body of a body that he brought from heaven. So 6 times I met him in a homeless person, a person who was poor that I already knew and had a former relationship with, and he went into a trance and talked to me. But 5 times Jesus grabbed the body out of heaven. He's got like a cloakroom before he leaves heaven, and he enters into a body that you don't recognize. You've got to recognize in the spirit. You've got to realize that you're talking to Jesus when you're talking to this homeless person. I'm sure Jesus can turn up as a businessman. I'm sure Jesus can turn up as a person who's well dressed. It's just that I've spent a lot of time around homeless people and spent a lot of time entertaining homeless people, and Jesus has always seemed to appear as a homeless person undercover to me. I've actually met Gabriel, the angel, dressed as a homeless person, begging me for money, and I refused him money, and I got rebuked by the Lord. So I've met angels in the flesh. I've met Jesus in the flesh. But whether you believe those stories or not, Jesus said very clearly in the sheep and the goats parable that whatever you do to the least of these, my brethren, you do unto me. He means that. He means that if you spend time feeding a hungry person or feeding a thirsty person, which most homeless people are, then you're actually feeding Jesus. You're actually feeding him in another form. It's not. It's not hard to meet Jesus in the flesh. It's not something that you may consider impossible. I first met Jesus in the flesh, and it was a big thing for me, and I didn't fully comprehend that it was Jesus. And I asked him years later, was that you? And he said, of course it was. But soon you'll be able to have discernment and be able to meet him. You can meet a Jesus, and Jesus will come and interact with you if you're intimate with Jesus. Um, and yeah, um, so my basic fundamental message I want to pass on to you is be a person who's loving and kind, and share your resources, share your time with broken-hearted people. And sometimes you'll actually be sharing your resources with Jesus himself. God bless you.